Today's episode 82 of Mob Rules is brought to you by our friends at the direct order upgrade company Helmet Emporium. Do you hate having models with bare heads in your army? Well, order from us, and you can give them a big, comfortable douche. And refresh your army today. Now available in Summer's Eve, Flamboyant Strawberry, and Salt and Vinegar Fresh Scents.
I don't want to try salt and vinegar douche. That sounds painful.
No, man,
The salt part?
you know what?
Well, wait a minute.
The vinegar part.
Well,
I hear they're working on a malt vinegar flavor for our UK friends, but
malt vinegar?
Yeah, malt vinegar. I don't know.
Maybe a prawn cocktail. Yummy. Welcome to episode 82 of Mob Rules. I'm John, joined of course by
Dave
and Danny.
And we're back. Oh, man, it's been so long since we released an episode or sat down and recorded together.
I know.
I feel like I haven't seen you guys in like months.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. Big thank you to everyone who's followed along with our kind of kill team stuff.
Yeah.
It's been super rad. It's very nice to put a lot of time into putting some stuff together and have actually people watch it.
Yeah.
That's always the worst when you put like hours into doing something and they're like, eh.
I think my favorite two responses were somebody said, "This has been my favorite bat rep yet, and you guys suck." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." and then I had somebody actually message me directly, was like, "Man, your learn to play is perfect for showing to kids, and I can't wait to get my kids to play it." And I was like,
Yes.
"Awesome."
Don't let your kids watch the battle report.
Don't watch the second one.
I'm very sad because there was one of the times we cut to do like a rules discussion, and I'm like editing through and watching the raw footage, and like Danny has this like really sick solid burn on you, and I spent about 5 to 10 minutes trying to figure out a way to include that, but I was like, oh, there's no natural way.
Man, I wish I remembered what that was. I bet it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. But yeah, let's see here. What have we been up to in this past week or so since we last released?
Let's see. Well, definitely nothing to do with Kill Team. And
Well, I've been doing a lot with Kill Team. I feel like.
right.
All right, so Dad, go take us away.
Yeah.
What have you been doing with
want me
Kill
to start?
Team? Yeah,
All
you
right,
start.
yeah. Okay, cool. Well, we were filming a bunch of Kill Team stuff.
Oh.
I've been reading the Kill Team rules a lot. Like just trying to make sure we're doing stuff right. It's more complex than initially appears, and there are some hidden things I would say in the rules, and that you really have to like really pay attention to some of the stuff because some of it's a little bit buried in the text. It could use a couple more call-out boxes. Let's put it that way.
The sacred text?
Yeah.
Yes. So I've been doing that. I've been doing some hobby stuff. I've been working on some Harlequin models. I took a Harlequin's army to a tournament a couple weeks ago. Had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I won all my games, but I didn't win the event because there was a lot of people. Because we usually get like a good turnout for our events.
Yeah,
so,
usually like 14 to 16.
Yeah, we had 19 people at MJ's this weekend. So, but I got second, so I was happy with that. I mean, any kind of like 3-0 with Harlequins is pretty tough.
Yeah.
So, I like doing that. I don't know. Oh yeah, I painted up that kill team of Mechanicus models.
They look good.
Yeah, you did. And they looked really nice.
Thanks.
It was a way for you to try out your wanted not Harlequin, but Mechanicum scheme as well.
Yeah. So that was cool. They look rad. I don't know. I think that's been it.
You actually played in like 2 tournaments.
Oh yeah, I played in another tournament. We had an Age of Sigmar tournament this last weekend. I played in that. I played in Night Haunts. So the rad thing about this is it didn't require painting, and so Reikenor the Grim Hailer just came out this week.
Oh, did you pick him up and put him in your list?
Like literally, like before the tournament started, I clipped him out of his sprue, and he's a push together. So I just fit him together and threw him in my list.
He's the chain rasp jailer guy, right?
No, he's
the flying dad Pegasus horsey guy.
Oh,
the big scythe.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he was actually. So I was not keen on him, but then like after I played him, like I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's rad. So,
nice.
Yep. And I went 2-1 on that one. I lost to the tournament winner and got second place in that tournament as well. So
noticing a theme for you there.
Yeah, number 2.
Number 2. Dave, what'd you get up to?
Oh man. Well, I whipped through some Gene Stealer Cult models for the Kill Team stuff.
They also look rad.
And I started recording a tabletop plus, and discovered my camera was dead.
Oh no!
So
Did you finish doing the tutorial and then find out it's dead?
No, I just gave up and went back to painting Gene Stealer Cult models. I was like, you know what? I'll just not do Tabletop Plus this time around. We'll call it good. We released a ton of other content, instead. So
Oh my god! Yeah,
I feel like people got their fill of mob rules this last week.
I think I released more videos last week than I have in the last year, which isn't really a big achievement. I released 2, so
I mean, it is what it is.
Hey man, it's still work. Yeah, they're good videos.
yes,
They're solid.
yes. Apart from like the jokes that didn't land because it didn't render properly. So when you watch our bat raps, there's going to be like just 2-second sections of black screen with like really calming music in the background. There's supposed to be a please stand by picture there, and it's very funny if you see it.
Yeah.
Not funny enough for me to re-edit, render, and re-upload, but it's good.
It's good stuff. I'm so glad that when I said, yeah, dude, do you want me to edit one of these 2 videos? You were like, no, I'll take care of it, because I was like, I really don't want to edit those videos. Good. It takes me enough time editing my own. They're only 10 minutes long, and I was like, I know how long the videos that we recorded were, so I was like, oh fuck, that's gonna take forever.
So I mean, honestly, they weren't terrible. Like for the battle report, there's like 90 minutes of raw footage, including rules discussion.
Yeah,
I was edited down to about an hour 3, an hour 4.
Yeah.
And like I've been hearing it like a nightmare multi-camera setups are for like, oh, it's all this extra editing, it's all this extra stuff. But like honestly, it's like a lot of fun. It's really easy to hide stuff because it's not, if you only have like one camera, you like the cuts are jarring and you're like, oh my god, and this is jumping over here and moving over here. But like I can just cut to a different camera and it's like really easy to take out. I think once I took out like 11 minutes of footage in like one section. So I mean it's nice, and I got a groove of doing it now, because the first time I did it, I got to the end of it and my computer crashed and I hadn't saved any of it, so I had to redo the whole thing. Womp womp. But you learn.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks better. I think the camera sitting on a tripod, steady, looking at something rather than just
insider secrets.
shaky.
Don't tell me I put it on the
moving
tripod.
around. Oh, my mistake.
That's all my free hand.
next to that mystery box.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that mystery box. No one's commented on that. That makes me very sad.
Yeah,
I think it's my childlike handwriting.
That's not true, actually. I got comments on the box.
You did?
The Duncan box.
Okay, so
Well, let's not spoil it.
Yeah.
That's my baby, and I don't get comments on it. I'm very sad about that.
Well, it's because people are messaging me because you make me share it.
Fair.
Nah.
Fair.
So yeah, I worked on the Gene Stealer cults. I've been kind of just rebuilding the hobby space that and putting everything away. I have dug out and built a couple chaos guys for a CSM cult, and now I'm in the process of looking for some IG models to turn into cultists and steal some heavy stubbers. And I'm theory crafting tons of lifts for Kill Team with models that I already have and models that I want to buy. And I was like, oh shit, I'm spending so much money on stuff that I'm barely gonna play with, maybe, but I want to have a Kill Team for each squad.
That's the dream.
Yeah, it's working out great. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. It's kind of weak. Oh, but I'm planning for the team tournament. Cody and I have got a schedule down to the following week after this weekend coming up. After this airs, we're going to Fairbanks to throw down.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this should air Friday,
right?
And then the following day, you're going up to Fairbanks early. I'm going up later in the day. I'm gonna try and like all weekend long it and play a tournament here Saturday, drive for 8 hours, tournament there Sunday.
You're an animal.
And see how we do. I gotta get those fake internet points, man.
He's got that advantage of the wife is gonna drive up there.
Yes.
So
nice.
So let me sleep.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go up in the morning and then meet up with some of the guys in Fairbanks and hopefully play some other type, play some Kill Team or play some Blood Bowl or play whatever, maybe some Shadespire. Who knows? Just hook up and hang out with those guys that we never get to see because they live, 500, 400 miles away?
It's an 8-hour drive, so.
I mean, they live in,
away.
Basically, it's not even a city up there. It's a couple huts, I think. So, yeah.
Just a couple huts.
Yeah.
Yeah, mudded together. Didn't really get much done this week or this past couple of weeks. I finished up the Kill Team terrain, which we talked about last episode. An order of mine came in for some movement trays for 40K.
Oh, awesome.
Nice. So I picked up some for my Dire Avengers. Really just to kind of speed up my game.
Where'd you get them from?
Oh God, that's what I was looking for here right now. It was shoot, A Company.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I heard they do good work.
They do good work.
They're a little corporate for my taste.
Yeah.
And a little generic.
Oh,
They're from Acme.
but
Oh, so there's a good chance of them exploding then.
Yeah.
but I think these are the same as the ones you have, Danny.
Oh yeah. What is the name of that place? God, they're really good.
Wow, this is
Tectonic Craft Studios.
Yeah,
that's
Tectonic Craft Studios. So I picked up
this is riveting.
5.
I wasn't gonna be able to sleep if you guys didn't figure out the name.
I picked up
We
5,
did it together.
5 of the 5-slot trays and 5 of the 3-slot trays.
Nice.
With the idea that each squad of dyers will be like a 3 and a 5, and that way I can kind of spread it out a little easier
yeah.
and kind of move them around. But again, it's kind of looking at ways to speed up my game, especially like when I'm running or planning to run about 80, 90 models in a 2,000 point list. I think the latest iteration, I'm adding some Dark Reapers. I can't get those yet, though. I'm trying to find out if they're direct or web only.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk, but if you need to borrow some.
I might need to borrow 18. Do
Okay.
you have 18?
That's a lot.
I know I have 15 that are built.
I might have 3 over here.
Okay.
I have some,
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
like I said, the latest iteration on my list, it drops. I think I dropped I'm going to try dropping the Hemlocks for Dark Reapers.
Really? Okay.
Maybe. I haven't decided yet. I know I drop a lot of Rangers, but I'm still kind of playing around. But again, trying to make the most out of Forewarning.
Well, don't forget the tournament this
Yeah.
weekend. The prize is a Warhound Titan. So
Oh man, my Eldar love Warhound Titans. They'll be the best basing decoration for my Wraith Knight.
Awesome.
I played at that same tournament out at MJ's with Danny. I went 2-1 for the day. No, 1 and 2. 1 and 2 for the day. Yeah, because I had a rough day of it. Holy cow. A really tough Nurgle Zinch Demon list and a really tough, who was my round 1 again? Shit, it was...
Custodes?
Yeah, the Custodes. And again, like and this is why I kind of look into Dark Reapers, because I need weight of fire with AP.
And multiple damage.
And multiple damage, because like 4 deflamers just really isn't cutting it for kind of multiple damage.
Sure.
So I have weight of fire from the Dyers, so I'm going to try something else for the kind of the multiple damage there.
That's fair.
And then my third game, I played against one of our listeners, actually. He's
cool.
fairly new to the game. It was a really good game. It was a little lopsided. My list isn't typically an 0-2 list going into round 3. Like I said, I was a little one-sided. He had a really nice-looking Marine list.
Awesome.
With like rhinos full of Marines. Everything was like unit marked. Everything was color-coded. It looked beautiful.
Oh, man. I'm jelly.
Yeah. However, 2 Hemlocks in the backfield screaming at a Land Raider and then shooting it with D-sights, and it just didn't really work out super good. But what was really nice is I got to talk to him afterwards, kind of like go over a couple things.
Oh, cool.
And like I said, it's a really unappreciated part of the hobby is kind of like the post-game of, hey, man, I was like, this was really good. This was really good. I maybe wouldn't have done this. I maybe would have done this.
Sure.
If they're receptive to it, of course. But yeah,
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
yeah,
It's always good to ask permission before you do that, too, right? I mean, like,
Yeah, because you don't want to like super offend someone, because someone might be like really like think you're rubbing it in or something like that, but really you're just trying to.
Yeah, just trying to be nice.
So looking at the BCP app, it looks like you played against Zach in the last round.
That's right, Zach.
So
It was his first few games. And like I said, it was he had a lot of fun. And it was nice to talk to, and he was very open, receptive. And kind of helped him learn a few rules. He certainly learned about Doom.
Ooh.
I taught him about Doom.
That's a rough lesson.
That's a rough lesson. But yeah, that's about all I've been up to. I think before we go to break, I'm going to jump into the mailbox that I sprung on you guys.
Oh, man.
And kind of
I
everyone.
still haven't heard it.
So I set up
So scared.
I set up a voicemail box. Well, I've got a couple voicemails in this time. We're not going to listen to all of them, just probably just 1 or 2.
Did you screen these? I'm just
I did
curious.
not screen these, no.
I'm sure, knowing our listeners, it's an Aussie telling me to suck some dicks, followed
Well,
by
I mean, what's new?
Yeah.
Followed
I mean,
by-
the new thing's an Australian and not an Alaskan telling them to suck some dicks.
followed by somebody in the United States telling me to suck some dicks. Okay, so,
But this is a
my
legitimate number I have set up. If you want to leave voicemails for us to play and comment on here, the number is 702-551-6946.
Does it spell anything cool like mob rules?
No, I tried to get that, but 702 is a Vegas number, so I figured there's like 800 people in Vegas that can call, maybe in February.
Oh.
And then also it had 69 in it.
Okay.
So again, 702-551-6946. Leave us a voicemail. The first one here, let's just press play.
Awesome podcast. Make more, make them faster.
I mean, that's super good feedback.
I mean, you could just play the episode faster, I guess.
I was going to say, make them faster as in kind of chipmunk style, speed them up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me when a chick asks you to go deeper. I mean, she's hoping for philosophy, I
mean,
think. But,
the only difference is this time this is possible, Dave.
yeah, that's true.
Well, in feedback, though, in the past 2 weeks, we've now released 2 podcasts, 2 videos. I mean, I honestly, I can't go any faster. Otherwise, I'm going to end up divorced. All right, let's just do one more here. Let's see what this is.
Hey, you bogans. So it's Adam from Australia. You set up this mailbox, and now you get the joy of listening to me as I walk to catch my train. 40k opinion. We've got heaps of 40k opinions, but what I really want is your opinion. I think that you guys should tell me whether I should drop all my current projects and just start on my orcs. How soon do you think the Orc Codex will be? Do I need to rebase everything on 32s? Inquiring minds want to know. All right, I've already called you bogans, and now you've put me on the spot thinking of Australian insults. I could say that you are, short of kangaroos in the top paddock, or I could say that you are a bunch of useless sheep shaggers. But they're pretty common insults. Look, I'm going to workshop a few, and I'm going to leave another voicemail later today. Peace out, guys.
Oh, man.
Well, the only request I do have is when you do call in, English, please. None of us do speak any foreign languages.
Yeah,
and
I could barely understand
I
them.
can't understand that at all. But that's a beautiful New Zealand accent.
Oh, I mean, I can't tell them apart, honestly. They're the same. It seems the same to me.
But in response to his
I
question,
only picked
here,
up a couple of words. Something about orcs, right? And
right,
a codex.
right.
Yeah.
Well, we're not an orc podcast. So.
I mean, yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Should he ditch all of his current projects to start working on orcs?
Oh, thanks for translating that.
Yeah,
I really
you're welcome.
appreciate it.
I speak Tasmanian, so it's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
He's from Scotland, but he has got a BA in Tasmania, so.
Well, yeah. Makes
So
sense.
ditching, Adam, I wouldn't ditch all your current projects to work on orcs. It's looking like orcs are going to be probably September. Roughly.
I think so crazy theory.
Okay.
October.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You mean Orktober?
Yeah, they're gonna wait and release it and do an Orktober. That's
so
my guess.
we're thinking probably Space Wolf September, Space Wolf Timber, and then Wolf Timber.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised to see Gene Stealer cults come out first.
No, the next two have been confirmed to be
All-
Space Wolf Orcs.
Except that they have been pimping those Gene Stealer cult models more
Oh
and
man,
more.
if those
and I would be
bastards
surprised.
lied to me about an Orc Codex again.
It's not a lie. It's still coming. They just never said when it was.
Yeah, that's called 6th edition for Orcs. 6th edition of 40k was the honestly, you guys are soon, and then 7th edition. No, they released the Orc Codex at the very tail end of 6, and then it was the first Codex of 7th, I think, right?
Yeah,
Which means it instantly got
might be
outpowered by everything afterwards
So
because the
wouldn't you
Decurion
rather
came.
be the last codex? Because then you got the mad power creep. You have to be the power creep.
Well, or you could be Tau.
That's you gotta.
I have no words.
I got nothing for that.
Yeah, nothing. So yeah,
Okay, 32s. I think yes.
Yep, I think all
Yeah,
Orcs are going
I
to be coming
agree.
on
I
32s.
agree.
Looking at the kill team stuff coming.
Except Gretchen's. I think
Grot should be 40.
And Grots aren't orcs.
Yeah, Grot should be 40 millimeter
Still part
bases
of-
though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe a Snarling or a Snot should be like a 50 or a 60.
Yeah, just to
yeah.
make sure that he
Board
has
control.
enough room that you
Right.
can put some other stuff on there. Yeah.
that aren't snotlings.
But yeah, But
and
I wouldn't
viable.
rebase. I would necessarily. There's a bunch of really good filler rings that are used.
Yeah.
Because I know bases like GW bases in Australia cost like $17,000 for a pack of five.
For
Right,
five.
for shipping.
It's unbelievable. The exchange rate of there is.
But I
just-
think secret weapon miniatures have ring extenders.
I have bought some. I purchased some of those actually.
For that, and they're super easy to use and super easy to put on, and it gives you the same impression of a 32 without having to file off people's feet.
Yeah.
But all right, so I'm going to delete everything else in the voicemail box, and then but like I said, feel free, give us a call, leave us a message. 40K related, not 40K related, who knows? Swear at us in your own language.
Yeah.
Just we might not understand it, like that wonderful Aucklander said to us there. The number one more time, 702-551-6946, and that's in America because that's where we are. So,
And not from Christchurch like the last message that we played.
no,
Thank you.
not from Christchurch. It's beautiful. I love Taiwan.
If you're in the Anchorage area and need your hobby fix, head on down to Tier 1 Cards and Games. Whether it's 40K, X-Wing, Attack Wing, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, War Machine, Age of Sigmar, Malifaux, or even Magic, the Gathering kind, not the Siegfried and Roy kind, Tier 1 Cards and Games has the space, the players, and products for you to build your forces and destroy your foes. Not in Alaska? Enjoy our snow suckers. We've got none. And while you're stuck inside, check out Tier 1's live Twitch stream at www.twitch.tv/Tier1Cards. Streaming ITC format, 40K starting at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the last Saturday of every month.
And we're back.
Hey.
So the main thing we're talking about today, well, we have kind of two, equally main topics, but the fun one we're going to be talking about is we absolutely did not, as my dog co-stars yet again, rip off the Iron Chef idea. This is a completely original idea. It is not the Iron Chef. This is the Plastic General, where what happens is
Which is much different.
Much different.
Right.
We both have to, two of us have to make a 1,000-point army list using a secret unit, not ingredient, a secret unit chosen by the third person.
And army.
Yeah. So, Danny, you were lucky enough this time to be able to pick the army type and the unit we're going to be using. What did you choose for our Plastic General challenge?
Dude, just God, get it right. All right, so the unit type that I chose was Whirlwind. You have to take 3 Whirlwinds in your army, and your army has to be from the Adeptus Astartes faction. So that opens it up to any chapter.
So like Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Death Watch.
Space Wolves, yeah, whatever. Death Watch can't take Whirlwinds.
It's a shame.
I mean, you could put
I would
Death
deep
Watch
strike
in
a
your list, I
Whirlwind
guess, if
right
you
in
want
Deep
to.
striking whirlwinds in the back.
The most deadly of close combat
wouldn't even-
units, the
I wouldn't even-
Whirlwind.
What's your kill team? 4 whirlwinds.
I would,
Surprise, motherfucker.
they don't even need a line of sight. I would just leave them off the table and be like, no, they're just over here. Shoot.
So, so Dave and I both made 1,000-point lists that fit that unit in.
I just want to know. So on other single ingredient, main ingredient that you have to incorporate into your dishes. I mean, armies type shows. There's always like a plastic general and then a challenger. Which one am I in this scenario?
Well, so since we haven't done this yet, Dave, we have to determine who the winner is, and the next person will be the challenger.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we got 2 challengers, a secret.
Only one of you may be crowned the Plastic General. That was the worst. You really made you made
It's
that
okay.
anticlimactic.
Do it again.
Okay, do it again. Here we go. You ready?
Only one of you can be the Plastic General. Fight?
Oh man, I really want to be the plastic general so bad.
Okay, so Dave, what is your 1,000-point dish list?
All right, my 1,000-point dish list I went pure Dark Angels. All right, and my thoughts for this were you get a little bit of tasty re-rolling of ones if you sit still. Whirlwinds can shoot without being seen, and so they don't have to move. They've got 72-inch range, so they can sit behind a building. Some of the new Sector Imperialis terrain, perhaps, that's line of sight blocking.
Sure.
So they can just kind of rain death over a wall at them. So I've got 2 detachments in my 1,000 points. The first detachment is a spearhead detachment, which takes the place of using all 3 whirlwinds to give me that, and a lieutenant.
Okay.
Just a basic Dark Angels lieutenant, no frills.
Interesting.
Just along for that fancy rerolls of 1s. I thought maybe I might deploy them on the table, maybe spread out a little bit. So I thought maybe they might need a little bit of chaff. So I went ahead and did a Dark Angels battery with a Primaris lieutenant as the warlord.
A battalion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, is that not the common term these days?
No,
A
you said-
battery
you
is
said a
cheap and-
battery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
battery is cheap and efficient. A Dark Angels battalion is a Dark Angels battalion.
Well, you don't know what ingredients I've thrown in here yet. This could be a delicious Imperial
Is it
soup.
3 units? Is it 3 units of Imperial Guard and 2 company commanders?
I figured it was some
No.
intercessors.
No intercessors at all, actually.
I am shocked.
Well, I wanted to make a
disgusted.
real good list. I didn't want to throw in the garbage that I win with. I wanted to throw in the garbage that actual people win with. So I've got I don't need it. So my thoughts were in the 1,000 points, given the free reroll for not moving. I get 1, basically it's the same thing as a master already for each unit, right? So I left that off. I left
Okay.
the master off, and I went with 2 more lieutenants. I went with a Primaris lieutenant with a Heavenfall blade because I want to be thematic and stick with the Dark Angels.
Sure.
So I figure I could split the whirlwinds out and put a lieutenant close by each one. And then to go with the chaff, I've got a unit of scouts with camo cloaks and a sniper rifle, regular bolt guns on the other 4 members. I have 2 tactical squads, 5-man with a heavy bolters, so they can sit close by to kind of screen for against any sort of deep striking attack against the whirlwinds to protect them.
Okay.
Not quite the best, but it was kind of what I wanted to go with. And then I've got a chapter ancient, which for the Dark Angels gives you that fancy any Dark Angels standard that dies, any Dark Angels within 6 inches that die, and they get back up. They operate on ballistic and weapon skill 2 instead of 3.
Sure.
So I also included a Hellblaster squad.
Oh.
With the plasma incinerators, the regular weapons. It's a 5-man squad. So I figured 1 lieutenant and the Hellblaster squad and the Primaris Ancient could be all booked up to give myself a nice little Hellblaster bomb. So I stay nice and sexy. It allows me the opportunity to use the stratagem weapons of the Dark Age to increase my damage very nicely. Mm-hmm. And I feel pretty good about this list. I feel like this list could actually do well in a 1,000-point tournament.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave. Your submission has been noted.
You'll also notice there's very little salt, so it's pretty tasty. Oh. I hate you guys so much.
Thanks. You really
You're
saved
welcome.
you saved me some time there.
You're welcome. I was busy downloading some audience noises.
Oh, that's the best.
I can't beat the guy that has the soundboard. It's not fair. John.
Were those boos for Dave?
they were boos
Oh,
for
there
Dave.
you go. Okay.
Great.
Okay, so mine. For my 1,000 points, I have a single battalion.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I just went single battalion. I went for Ultramarines because their chapter tactics are very good, I feel, especially combined with the Whirlwinds. Now, whenever I... Shut up, audience. God damn. All right, perfect. So whenever kind of now I'm building a list, what I'll do first is I'll look at the stratagems available in the codex because, I need a gimmick to build off. I'm a very gimmicky person.
Okay.
So what I did is there is a specific Whirlwind stratagem in the Astartes Codex.
There is.
Data link telemetry. So data link telemetry is 1 command point. Use it at the start of the shooting phase before a whirlwind shoots. If the target of the whirlwind shoot attacks are visible to a friendly land speeder that is within 12 inches of the target unit, the whirlwind's attacks automatically hit. So right away, that's super good.
That's really good.
So my list, we have 3 whirlwinds. Again, this is what we had to put in here, and I changed it up a little bit. So let me see. I have 2 Vengeance Launcher whirlwinds and 1 Castle Launcher whirlwind.
Interesting. Okay.
On top of that, I have 2 land speeders, both with heavy bolters and assault cannons.
Okay. Cool.
I had like 40 points to spend, which is not enough for a troop's choice or literally anything apparently in the Marine Codex. So I give them assault cannons. Again, trying to make use of that stratagem because if I can like auto hit and I'm just rolling buckets of dice, that's super, super helpful.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful.
I added an Inceptor squad. So I have a 3-man Inceptor squad with the assault bolters. Again, just for some backfield advantage and being able to kind of drop down and distract away. Like I said, I figured turn 1, you roll at least one of the land speeders up. Turn 2, you can roll another one of the land speeders up. And then turn 3, turn 2, you're also distracting by dropping Inceptors in the backfield, hopefully taking some of the heat off the land speeders. For my troops section, I just took 3 scout squads, 2 bolter scout squads, and 1 sniper scout squad. And again, just kind of push out, get some board control. For my HQs, I have just a bog standard lieutenant with a power sword and a bolt pistol. And then a tech marine, who is my warlord. He has a plasma pistol, chain sword, and his warlord ability is Storm of Fire.
Oh, for the whirlwinds.
For the whirlwinds. So Storm of Fire for the whirlwinds
that's not bad.
is if you roll a 6 on your to wound, I believe, then you get an extra -1 to your AP.
Yeah.
So what really I'm aiming for here is like in the backfield, I have a little castle with 3 whirlwinds kind of triangling around, protecting the tech marine and the lieutenant. The tech marine lieutenant's re-rolling to wound, hopefully into 6s. The whirlwinds are hopefully automatically hitting because of the data link telemetry. And the scouts are kind of out there denying board control, getting objectives. And that's my 1,000 points. I'm a little worried it's a little light in anti-tank, but I think I'm throwing enough dice down and not having to roll for enough to make up for it there.
Sure. All right. Well, so now I will hear arguments from Dave.
Oh, wait, should we have to argue this?
All right.
Yeah, you guys have to discuss why you think
you-
your list is better than
You
John's.
wrote this, so why I think my exactly audience. All right. So I think my list is better than John's for the simple fact that John's is based on a gimmick, and that gimmick, while it might work for the first round, once word gets out that the whole reason that you got these land speeders, which are incredibly fragile, get destroyed, you're pretty much just left sitting in the backfield with almost next to nothing, right? You got a couple scouts? Yeah? Sounds good.
He has no rebuttal for that, Dave.
Right? So
Just crickets.
You don't. Land speeders are
I can't make it stop.
land speeders are what? Toughness 6?
Toughness 5.
Toughness 5. So they pretty much go down to just bolter fire.
They can.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, you've got a lot of guys just running flashlights in their Imperial Guard batteries. So they're pretty weak. I thought about it myself, putting those in there to use the data link telemetry, but I didn't feel like it was actually worth it for it, given that I went with the automatic rerolls of sitting still 1s, and including.
But
a
you
bunch
won't
of
get
lieutenants.
that on the whirlwinds.
What?
Because they won't. You don't get to reroll 1s on the whirlwinds because they don't benefit from chapter tactics.
Nope. Well, then
That's
I
their
have
vehicle.
horribly screwed up. Then
That's okay. It's okay. You know what? That's something that
Wait.
like I initially thought the same thing. I'm like, oh yeah, man, Dark Angels are the best ones. And then I thought about it for a minute. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why they're not the best ones, because you actually have to invest some points in them to make them reroll ones. Because only infantry and dreadnoughts benefit from chapter tactics.
Vehicles do not, which is why I chose Ultramarines and not Iron Hands or something like that.
well, Iron Hands would be silly with whirlwinds. It wouldn't really benefit you, but
Because
okay.
chapter tactics don't benefit vehicles.
Well, I still feel like in a straight up list, my list versus John, I'm going to end up beating him. I feel like it's a stronger list. And that's what I think about that.
Is it a 5-man unit of Hellblasters? I'm just for
Yes.
clarification. Okay.
Yeah, 5-man Hellblaster unit.
I don't know, John. What do you think?
Oh no, I mean I feel like the list that I proposed, it needs to be played well in order to work. More so than kind
so
of
you're gonna lose
Dave's, which is like
automatically,
a more of an autopilot kind of list. My list that I came up with, it needs a little bit more finesse and thinking, and better target priority. So if you are good at the game, then I believe my list would be your list. But if you were not good at the game, then obviously I would lose.
So you pretty much just admitting you're going to lose then.
Oh, only if you weren't good at playing my list, because my list is far superior.
Do we have to swap lists? Because then I'm going to win.
Like I feel for you, right? The whole thing with 8th edition is stratagems and taking advantage of combos and synergies within your army. You have about as much synergy as a corporate retreat in the 70s, whereas I right now have layers upon layers of synergy. I can keep one line speeder off the table, deep strike it down turn 2, so I can guarantee at least 2 turns of data link telemetry.
Not necessarily.
What's deep striking?
Oh, I'm sorry. They can come in from
Land
the
speeder.
sky, can't
He's
they?
saying land speeder.
The land speeder?
I don't know if that's true.
I mean, it is. And we don't have to look it up or verify it.
That's fair. That's
No, sorry, John, you were incorrect.
But even then, with the land speeder, okay, I can hide one and I can hide the other one.
I'm gonna sound clip that, Danny.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't have to fly both land speeders at the table.
They are very fast.
They're very
Speeders are
fast. Like I said, and the idea that I have 2 sets, so 46 shots automatically hitting. I'm re-rolling ones to wound. Is essentially, it's a super powerful. Yeah, is it a gimmick that's only going to last a couple turns? Sure, but how much damage are they doing in that couple turns?
That's fair.
So I think that we've heard some really great opinions from both of our contestants.
Also,
today.
Dave's.
So now,
I hate this game.
well, so now in the next segment, I'm going to reveal the list that I made for 1,000 points, and we're going to compare it to the 2 other lists. So, interestingly enough, I combine elements of both of the lists that you guys have in mind.
Son of a bitch.
So, my list consists of an Outrider battalion and a spearhead. I'm sorry, an Outrider detachment and a spearhead detachment.
Okay.
So, in my Outrider detachment, it's led by... Oh, first of all, my army is entirely Dark Angels.
Okay.
I have it led by a Ravenwing Talon Master. So the Ravenwing Talon Master is basically a lieutenant in a land speeder. So he's a character model, so you can't shoot at him unless he's the closest model to you. And he's a 7 wound, 16-inch moving land speeder, and he has the land speeder keyword.
And does the Dark Angels have that, or do you have another detachment that's regular Marine to lift that stratagem out of the Marine book?
No, the Dark Angels also have that.
Oh man,
stratagem.
even better. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have a
All
shitty
the-
character to hide behind.
I don't just have one. He also has a twin assault cannon and twin heavy bolters, so he puts down a lot of fire, and he gives a reroll aura of 1s within 6 inches. And for Ravenwing units, he allows you to ignore cover saves when they shoot. So completing the Outrider. Go ahead. Sorry.
Can you make the Whirlwinds be Ravenwing?
No.
Okay.
So I can't make them ignore cover.
Okay.
But it does matter for the Ravenwing Dark Shroud that I have in my list, which gives... So I have another land speeder. That gives a
Because
minus...
that has the land speeder keyword?
It also has the land speeder keyword.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
And it gives a -1 to hit bubble within 6 inches. And then I have 2 Ravenwing biker squads with sergeants with power axes. So 2 3-man Ravenwing biker squads, which will kind of drive in front of my little bubble of doom. So then I have a spearhead detachment, which consists of 3 whirlwinds, just with the vengeance launchers. Those are the cheaper ones, I think, right?
Yeah, it's a castle, and I have 1. I put 1 in my list just for some anti-tank.
Yeah, no, and I think the castle is great too.
I believe I got the vengeance. I think I went vengeance on all of them.
Yeah, because you have to choose before the game starts. Do they cost the same points?
No, the castle
One
is more expensive.
Yeah, like 9 points more.
Okay. And then so leading that one, I have Samael in Sable Claw. And so Sable Claw is a land speeder. And so he has twin assault cannons and twin heavy bolters. Now, I've given the Ravenwing Talon Master a Heaven Ball Blade, so he's also good in close combat. So he has like 5 strength 6 attacks. And then Samael has 5 strength 8 attacks on the charge.
Is he the jet bike guy?
So you can take him on the jet bike, or you
the
can
land
take him in a
speeder,
land speeder.
Because I'm like, wait, that jet bike's a land speeder?
Yep.
So the list is super fast. If I need to castle, I can castle, and then I can zip out 16 inches with all the rest of my stuff, and give all of my my whirlwinds -1 to hit, reroll 1s to wound, and reroll 1s to hit. Because Samael gives full rerolls to hit for all Ravenwing units within 6 inches, or any Dark Angels unit can reroll 1s to hit. So he kind of gives the best of both worlds to those units.
Nice.
Very nice.
But yeah, so it can basically make like a super fast kind of tanky like bunker that I can have the characters in, so then I can start raining down shots from the whirlwinds, or I can have it castle. And yeah. Anyway, so that's the list that I created.
Well,
but it's interesting to me to see, right, that I have elements of of both the lists that you guys have created, right? Like I have the Dark Angels, like the lieutenant, like
Whoa.
the lieutenants, and then I have like working on the stratagems like Jon has as well.
Huh. I mean, I thought about putting in the land speeders, but in the end settled for Hellblasters because it felt more thematic to
Sure, that's
for the
fair.
Dark Angels.
Yeah, that's fair.
For me, I was trying to do like thematically like a scouting force. So that's why I kept to scouts, land speeders, generally things that were going to be like, I can see like a little base of whirlwinds being put down, kind of like land speeders and scouts going out to kind of scout around the area to protect it and all that other kind of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I went for kind of like a heavy pounding force, like the kind that would be used to knock down walls and kind of wreck it in.
Sure, like a siege force, right?
Yeah, kind of a siege force. Got the one unit of scouts in my head. They kind of showed me like, hey man, we're gonna knock this over. You know, it's
like the spotters, right?
Yeah, it's a nice Iron Warriors fortification up ahead. Let's blow this thing open and let's see if there's any fallen inside. You know, that was my thematic fluffiness, and I don't feel like I added enough cheese to it though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any list had like a bunch of cheese, to be honest with you.
I mean,
like all of us kind of like made use of stratagems. Well, the good list made use of stratagems.
so my list.
Hey,
made
the
use of
argument
them.
phase is over.
I'm in the truth phase.
I guess really what it boils down to is since we're judging on theme, effectiveness, thought, and cheese, I feel like the only cheese I threw in there was the Dark Angels bomb at the the plasma bomb at the very end, which is just
Sure.
Hellblasters.
And they're really good at
They
what
are,
they do.
but so yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I'm not the judge. Who will be the plastic general? That is what we'll find out.
so between Dave and Jon's list, who came up with the better list? And so we're turning to you, the listeners, to determine which of them had the better list.
I mean, it's me, but
I think if you're waiting for a listener to answer right now, we're not going to get it. So I don't think it's Jon, although my voice cracked, which means I'm either going through puberty or I think it's Jon.
I mean, why
So,
not both?
Yeah.
I mean, that was like 50 years ago, Dave. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Was
Can you go
puberty
through,
a
could you
thing
go
when
through,
you were a kid?
Could you go through reverse puberty?
I don't know. Maybe you might be doing that.
Oh no.
But yeah, let us know which list you think is best. Again, this was like super fun for me because I don't make really Marine lists and I don't look at that. So kind of like diving in and really like I can't choose like this is the most effective unit for this slot and this is the most effective unit for this. I kind of have to fall back on how I build armies now of trying to find a gimmick and going with it.
Sure.
And I do that kind of through the stratagem sections and kind of trying to see what's the most command points I can get for a list that's going to be effective.
Yeah.
Now, looking back on it, I'd probably take this all cannons out, try and free 10 points up somewhere else and get another scout squad in there.
Sure.
But at the same time,
Well, your dish has already been submitted. Don't be changing it now.
at the same time, is that I feel it's a good kind of fluffy expedition force. Where yours is kind of more of an assault force. Mine is kind of like we've landed on a planet. The whirlwinds are a little spearhead, kind of hanging out here. The scouts and the speeders are kind of out surveying the surrounding areas. Danny's kind of master dish is kind of there's fallen here. Let's go find them.
Let's pummel them out of the buildings and then capture them.
Yes, quote unquote capture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You couldn't see, but me and Dave literally air quoted at the same time while not looking at each other. But yeah, let us know. You can either let us know on Twitter with the hashtag Dave Sucks.
Or
if you
think Dave
or a
is the best,
hashtag
you-
Jon sucks.
No. So
No,
the
no.
hashtag, if you disagree with, if you think Dave's list is awful, hashtag Dave sucks. And if you think my list is bad, hashtag Dave still sucks. And that's really simple. And
specific.
it's a real like easy way for me to properly find out the vote.
That's true. Now, the last thing I really want to know, though, Danny, is which list do you think is best?
That's a good question.
Other than yours, because you obviously think yours is best.
You're like mine.
Other than yours, out of the two of us, neither one of us are known for making lists, especially me. In fact, I'm known for making really shitty lists. So,
Okay, so let me preface this a little bit.
Oh, that's
Because
good.
I think that both of you guys win in different scenarios. I think if the list is designed to kill things, I think Dave's list is better than Jon's list. If the list is designed to take objectives, then I think Jon's list is better than yours. because you have one scout squad to go out and get objectives, really. Like, everything else has to start in your deployment zone, and it's relatively slow, right? I mean, it's all slogging on foot.
True.
Whereas Jon has a couple of land speeders that he can go out and take an objective for a turn or something like that. And he also has 3 scout squads that he can put like out on the table and that kind of thing. So I think that there's some strength there. I think that your list outkills his. I think that his list outscores yours. So it just depends on the kind of mission that you guys are playing.
I mean, spot who plays ITC regularly between the other one, because I know, like myself, I mainly just play like ITC Scort. It was an accidental press.
So plays is in air quotes here.
But like I said, I play ITC more than anything else, and I think, Dave, you're more of a book mission kind of guy. Where killing is more of an important thing. So it's super interesting that really does come into kind of how we build a list. So yeah, that's super intriguing.
All right, so listeners, you've got our lists. Make them up, try them out, and let us know which list you win more with.
There you go.
It's going to be mine.
As long as it's mine.
That's probably mine.
Dude, I'm the best. I took first place at another tournament.
First off, stop with the thunder and lightning. You don't impress me. And second, let me check out the BCP rankings. And I don't see you on there.
What?
Your TO needs to download the Best Coast Pairings app and run events on it. After the event, the results are uploaded into BCP rankings, and the best part, it's easy and free.
But I play multiple game systems.
No big deal. The BCP app can be used for any game. A ton of events every weekend are using it, from major international tournaments to local stores. And now that it's available on Android devices, you're going to have some serious competition.
There can be only one.
BCP Rankings is a fun and exciting way to measure how you or your team stack up. No matter what you play, your score goes to an overall ranking, or compete to be the best in a game, a circuit, a region, or the world.
Download the app or visit www.bestcoastpairings.com for more info.
Best Coast Pairings.
Are you the best?
And we're back.
And we're back.
We are.
Okay. I was like,
I was gonna run and grab a beer really fast, but I couldn't remember how much longer that ad was.
oh man, that's good. If you want to go grab 2 beers, I'll start talking for a little bit here. 3? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Daddy's sitting there confused. What?
So
What about me?
So one of the reasons kind of we ran the Best Coast Pairing spot there, I usually run it right at the start after we're talking about like our tournament play and things like that, is the other thing I kind of wanted to touch on today was kind of like a really hot button issue this past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Cheating.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Oh man, it's so fun. Not cheating.
Well,
As my dog walks through the wires and gets rid of our background fuzz. Oh, inside
he's
baseball.
a tech genius.
He's a tech genius. He turned it off and on again. But no, cheating has been kind of being like a big thing. A lot of you will have read or heard online the kind of outrage that happened at the ATC team tournament.
Yep.
Between Team Happy and kind of like the shenanigans on the go there. And things like that. What we want to talk to today, I have no real interest in going over what happened in the past or what our opinion of what happened in the past is.
I think that has been hashed over like
it's been
plenty.
done to death. There's been like 17 podcasts about this. It's kind of like really shitty instant replay. Like, you know how like soccer or football has like instant replays?
Yeah.
Like Daka and podcasts recently have been like an instant replay on ATC. What I really wanted to cover and kind of go over today is, oh man, that was clean. I want to sell that on the sound effects site.
Yeah.
I want to talk about don't be a dick. And of course, dick is not a swear word. It stands for a tech genius dog knocking over microphones now. See, this is why I like it when my wife's home when we record, because she goes away with the dogs. But don't be a dick. Dick, of course, being an acronym for a disruptive, ill-mannered, condescending, and crazy.
We do love our
K-Razzie.
acronyms.
K-Razzie. And so kind of like some practical tips if you're like playing in a tournament situation or in a game situation and you feel that maybe, everything's not quite on the up and up. So, Danny, why don't you kind of take it away and give us a tip?
Yeah.
Okay. So oftentimes I will find that my opponent doesn't know the rules quite as well as they think they do. Wherein they're interpreting a rule differently than the way that I have interpreted it. So with somebody that I don't know, I kind of like to take an approach that my friend Ben has perfected when talking with people. So he prefaces it as, instead of like they're wrong, like you're wrong, not saying like you're wrong, the rule that you're using doesn't work that way. He says, okay, well, we don't play that rule that way where I'm from. Like, can you show me in the book like where like how that works, because I don't want to be playing it wrong.
Well, that's very tactful, actually.
Yeah, it's like sneaky polite, right?
And you seem really, really nice, and at the same token, you totally get to be like, booyah.
Sure. But like at least then you get to see, like, you have them look at it, and like it's not like an accusation that they're an idiot or cheating or trying to do something on purpose or something similar.
Well, that's a great call there.
So what about you, Dave? What do you?
Well, so not knowing your actual rules is something that clearly can happen to anybody, as is evidenced by the fact that I forgot that Dark Angels Whirlwinds didn't get to roll ones in our last segment.
Sure.
So it's something that can happen right there. So,
dude, and I mean, I read every single book all the time, and I had the exact same thought as you, like right off the bat. So I wouldn't. I mean, it's not you. It's just.
Oh no, and I know I should have known they don't benefit from chapter tactics, because I know that Repulsors, the hands down best tank in the game, don't benefit from Iron Hand's chapter tactics.
So we're talking about Wave Serpents?
No, good tanks, good tanks. I mean, tanks that could potentially win a tournament.
Oh, so Wave Serpents,
possibly. So that's what you do when your opponent's cheating. That's solid advice, because that way you don't come across as an arrogant douche.
Not a dick, right?
Yeah, not a dick. So
and here's the thing to do is always assume positive intent. The someone isn't trying
unless
to cheat.
You're playing me, because I will try to cheat you every time.
But I mean, I honestly don't think 99% of people are not trying to cheat. They're not trying to game the system. They're not trying to kind of do all of this crazy weird stuff. And I do similar things to Danny now, where if someone's like, okay, I'm going to use this stratagem, it does this. Like, oh man, that seems super good. Do you mind if I see your book real quick? You're at no point in that sentence accusing them of cheating. You're not coming across as a sore loser. You just want to inform yourself over what it does.
Exactly.
And at no point has anyone ever been super irritated when I've asked to see their rules. And like I said, and I don't do this for like everything they say, like obviously, but if something sounds too good to be true, or if you've played against an army before and it was like a little different or played differently, just ask to see the book. That's one of the reasons we have to take books with us to games.
Sure.
Also, this game is incredibly complex. Like, it's ridiculously complex.
It is.
It can be.
Even in like a streamlined version, mistakes are going to be made. There's going to be a lot of us, like I think we were joking before, like the three of us who have like 70 years of hobby experience between the three of us,
right?
55 of them from Dave.
Yep.
Right.
We have edition fatigue, like
right.
hardcore. Like there's still some stuff I'm like, oh yeah, it's this, and I go, no man, that's second edition, and you're like, oh
how
shit.
God, it's been like 10 years since I played that. Why is that sticking with me?
No, this is where I roll on my Pulsar Rocket table to see if stuff appears, and if I shoot drops.
No Pulsar Rockets.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's easy to make mistakes, especially now, and especially if you're trying something new. Something you're not completely familiar with. You read about, and you're thinking, oh, this sounds pretty good. I'll give it a try. Like a 1,000-point Dark Angel Whirlwind list sounds really good. You should try it and enjoy it. But so you just ask for their book and do it politely. Don't be like, I don't think that's right, douche. Give me your book. You just.
And that happened when I was playing, when I first started my Eldar list. Like I had Rangers, and I was using the Ranger stratagem to make them like 6s to hit in like every phase. And like my opponent just went, hey man, can I see that stratagem real quick? That doesn't sound right. And like at no point is he saying, hey Dick, you're trying to gain an advantage by doing this.
Sure.
It's just a straight up confirmation. So I think like not being aggressive or confrontational about disputes you might have is kind of like the number one key here. I mean, be the player you want to play against.
And that segues really well into kind of the next thing we want to talk about is, you want to make sure that your opponent views you on the up and up all the time, right? So be super open and communicative about what you're doing and what the intent of what you're doing. So you're double checking with your opponent. Is it okay for me to do this, right?
Yeah.
So that way they know what your intention is. So even if you're like, like half an inch off or something like that, like when you actually like measure, even though you pre-measured and that kind of stuff, because things happen, things get bumped, like you mismeasure a little bit. And you like a lot of people will just let you like move your model back or something like that, like if he's out of range for an aura or something similar that he would benefit from. But as long as you measure, you like tell them your intent. He's like, okay, I'm moving my squad here, and I want to make sure that they're within 6 inches of Azerman's 4+ invulnerable save aura, right? In the case of like Jon's army. And so I want to make sure that all of my squads are within 6 inches. I'm measuring 6 inches. Here you go. That way your opponent can't go like later like, hey man, you're like a 1/4 inch out of this 6 inch aura. Like you'd be like, okay, well, if it looked out to you, like why didn't you tell me that when I said exactly what I was doing?
Right.
So it helps to avoid situations like that where you describe what you're intending to do, so that your opponent can like make the value judgment like, okay, well, if that's your intent, like you need to move these guys back a little bit because they look like they might be out.
And in that way, again, you're being super clear and you're not trying to play gotcha.
Right.
Because the worst thing you can do as a player or an opponent in 40K is, aha, I got you. You fucked up. You did this, and kind of leaves you on the up and up. Now, I'm not telling you to tell your opponent, hey, you can't do that because I'm going to do this, or, things like that. But really shitty gotchas. Like, in my Azerman example, it's like, you moved your Dire Avenger squad an 1/8 of an inch out of aura range. Haha, got you now.
Gotcha now, yeah.
And you're like, honestly, if it's that close, you know the intent there.
Right.
And again, being that upfront and honest is going to kind of stop things like that. Another etiquette thing I want to point out is dice rolling. Something that gets me really not angry, but could be done better, is if my opponent picks up a handful of dice, rolls, picks up some dice, rolls, picks up some dice, rolls, is like 6 wounds. And that's the only words that are said.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Right? So like for me, when I do it, I'm like, okay, I'm firing with 10 shuriken catapults. That's 20 shots total. I am hitting on 3s. Then I roll the dice. And I'm like, and I'm re-rolling for Doom. So I have 16 hits. Now I need this to wound. I mean, almost to like a learning game almost concept. But again, it goes back to what you're saying, Danny, about keeping that dialogue and communication open and flowing.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure everybody knows what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I said, making it clear what you're rolling for and why you're re-rolling. Kind of just explaining everything out there.
And saying the strength of your weapons versus their toughness. So I'm like confirming, hey, I'm wounding on 3s.
Yeah.
So if there's any kind of like, no, actually you're -1 to wound, or no, you're actually -1 to hit. So that way you're not like rolling dice and having to like re-roll a bunch of stuff because you've rolled the wrong number. So,
Dave, you have something. Sorry, I thought you had something based on
Oh,
your posture there.
I did, but you passed and it flew out my window. So I'm old. Stuff goes away. That's what it is. So if you're playing old people, expect that to happen.
It's going to make a
good
Viagra.
advice.
It's going to make a Viagra joke there. Your old stuff goes away. So what do you do if you think your opponent's cheating? Like you're playing a game and you're just like, this
I know
doesn't
this
seem
one.
right.
I know this one.
Yeah.
You call a judge over. You tell the other player that they're a cheating douchebag, and then you throw your dice at them.
well, I appreciate that answer, Dave, but
I mean, that's a really good one not to do.
Oh, sorry. That's
But Danny, what's the actual thing? Like, if you think your opponent's cheating,
well, first you need to confirm, like, you need to talk with your opponent for a minute. So, like, for instance, if your opponent is using, like, a piece of war gear that's not on their army list, like, say, hey, I noticed that you've been using such and such piece of war gear, right? I don't see it here on your army list. Because, okay, first of all, everybody should show you an army list when they start. You should know what kind of weapons are in each squad, all that kind of stuff. All that stuff should be very clearly demarcated.
right.
So if it's not, then that might be an issue, and ask to see your opponent's list if you feel like something's not right. And you should be able to look at your opponent's list at any time during the game. Like, that's not hidden information. It's not secret. Like, you should be able to talk about that. If you notice that, like, something is happening that you don't think is on the up and up, ask to see the special rule, ask to see the army list. Like, give your opponent the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe they've just made a mistake, right? That happens to everybody. If it's something that totally changes the game, like they've been using like an extra las cannon in their squad, or something that's like big, right? then that might be a situation where you'd want to call a judge over and ask, like, or actually, you know what, discuss it with your opponent, ask them what they want to do about it, because, like, you know, and press upon them your case, like, say, okay, well, this has really affected the game, right? Like, I don't really think it's fair for you to have used these extra points. Like, what's the solution that we can come to here?
So,
and involve a judge if it deteriorates.
I had a scenario very similar to this at one of our Ultramar cups that we were doing, the 1500. So for me, I love the repulsor, and you know that's just me because I think it looks sexy. And I know it's not great, but it
looks
has
great.
it has an extra mounted heavy stubber option for 6 points.
Okay.
And normally I run completely identical repulsors, but in this particular scenario, I took one of the extra guns off, so
to save some points.
I was 6 points over,
sure,
on my 1500, and I realized it halfway through one of my games, and I told him, "Hey man, I apologize. I've been rolling for these 3 dice this whole time. You know, I apologize. Probably get like half. You know, get like two or three guys back if you want." And he said, "No man, it's fine. Just, you know, don't fire with either of them for the rest of the game." And I went, "Okay, that's a fair
a fair solution."
And that was a mistake on my part. You know, I knew it when I made the list the week before, but in my head I went, I always run fully kitted out repulsors, so they exist. And that was the compromise we came to. Completely fair, you know.
If something like that happens, like your opponent does what Dave did, it is also, though, important to ask the judge, let the judge know that happened, and make sure that it doesn't happen in future games.
Yeah, and it didn't. I just
sure, right, and like in
yeah.
your case, it didn't. But it's an important thing to make sure that opponent isn't accidentally doing that in other games, right?
Right.
Like, and I know that you're on the up and up, and I'm not saying that you would have done that, but.
I mean, I'm old. I probably would have forgotten again that it was not right by the next game.
5 minutes later.
Except I just crossed it out of both of them, so I didn't fire it at all. But yeah, I mean, it's a heavy stubber. It's not that. It's not an end all.
No.
So, but it was one of those things. I felt bad because I was like, oh man, 3 turns have happened so far of my shooting, and I've been shooting this. So, and like I said, I maybe killed a guy or two, but yeah, no. And people make mistakes. They're not always trying to screw you up, especially if they're used to running something completely different. Now, there are occasionally people that will do that, but you know, as long as you maintain a cool head in dealing with them, then you can ease situations. No judge wants to come over to a table where 2 people are screaming at each other about cheating. They don't. There's no good outcome for them in that scenario. So, you know.
Oh man! So a tournament that I've TO'd at, that happened. We got called over the table. They were just really yelling, arguing with each other, and we're like, "It's a draw." And they're like, "What?
Done."
I'm like, "You guys tied. It's done." It's like, you got to remember, this is Little Plastic Spaceman. I'm like, "This is how I'm ruling it. This is a toxic environment. Your game is over. This is a draw." Other TOs might rule it differently, but again, it's just about cutting that shit out right away.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you know, so help the TOs out if you're having a problem. You know, maintain a cool head while you're trying to resolve the situation. That's the best advice I've got, you know. And I've never really been in a big scenario situation where, you know, $5,000 is on the line like at LVO, like other people have. I might take it, you know, way more serious, but I still try to remember that no matter what I'm doing, I'm still playing with Little Plastic Spaceman, which is a hell of a lot better than being stuck at work.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's true.
Danny, both you and I have run events before.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing I can do is be proactive, not reactive, to issues. A judge or a TO, a tournament play, can do nothing after the game is done.
Right. Well,
there's a few things they can do, but essentially, things need to be said and come up during the game. There's no good coming up and like bitching about stuff afterwards.
Sure.
Because stuff can't get fixed then. Or you know, if you do fix stuff, it's like a nuclear option after the game.
Right.
But it's really important to kind of have that open dialogue. And if you're kind of like playing like we're suggesting here about constantly communicating with your opponent, letting you know what to do, at no point should you have to like be salty after the game because this thing happened. But again, do it during the time, not like the round after or the end of the day.
Yeah, it needs to be done immediately if there's going to be an actual complaint. If something has like gone through the game as being like an incredibly like and you don't find out until like the end of the game or after the game, because once you're in the game you're concentrated on that. You're looking at you're looking at your strategy, you're trying to like make decisions that are important. You don't necessarily have time to like check your opponent's list. So sometimes like you can check your opponent's list and realize, oh shoot, this guy's list is like, 100 points over or something like that. Then that's something you can bring to the judge afterwards and be like, well, hey, this guy's list was over points. Like, something needs to be done about this.
Oh yeah, sure. I guess in that situation, you're right on the money.
And then like one other thing I'd just like to point out too.
Sure.
If there is a player in your community who is like the community consistently have problems with, it's important that you let Dave, you. So it's important that you let the judges know.
I'm sitting right here, Danny.
It's important that you out that kind of behavior in the community. When somebody is not playing on the up and up, it is important to make sure that stuff is addressed and that person like knows that they're like on watch. Like, because like that's the kind of stuff that needs to be like, shape up or ship out kind of attitude.
Because we've had a couple of players like that up here in our community, and anytime that's happened, it's been brought to like our community leader's attention, and conversations are had with that person. Because here's the thing, one bad egg can like destroy a community.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Because if you have one person is just awful to play against and you don't want to, you're not going to go to a tournament. You're not going to go to open play at a store. Just in case you're drawn up against that person.
That's true. That's very true.
So kind of, again, having that open, honest communication is really good. And I think we've done a good job of that in Alaska.
I think so.
We have, like I said, regularly 19, 20 people tournaments on a monthly basis.
Yep.
Some of the best players in the world, I think, actually, are up in Alaska.
Yeah. I'm sitting right here.
Or at least the West Coast, right?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
So like I said, it's really important to foster that healthy community, and giving people feedback like that isn't bad. Like they might not realize what they're doing, or they might not see a problem with what they're doing. But if you can kind of have a calm discussion, or have someone have that discussion with them about things they can do to be a fun opponent. Some people just don't realize that 40K is a 2-player game.
Yeah, 100%.
And sometimes they need to be reminded of that, because if no one's playing you, then 40K is a really shitty game of chess to play by yourself.
That's true.
Yep. It's not like masturbation.
No, it's more fun with two. Masturbation, that is.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it is, but
I might be doing it wrong. But yeah, so that's been Don't Be a Dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Earl Hagen was a legend. In 1960, he whistled his way into Hollywood and into our hearts. Decades later, he made a comeback, lending those lustrous lips in the 1980s to such bands as the Scorpions, Guns N' Roses, and Pat Benatar. A half-century after his humble beginnings, he's at it again. This time without cumbersome musical accompaniment, he'll have you wetting your whistle and whistling along. His new album, Earl Whistles Disney, is sure to be a hit with all generations. Order now and receive a bonus album, Earl Whistles More Shit, a collection of previously unreleased material of Earl's favorite songs through the years. On this bonus album, he demonstrates his newly mastered technique of inward whistling. Order yours today on compact disc or double-length cassette. Also available at fine retailers such as Walgreens, CVS, and participating Sam Goody stores. Earl Whistles Disney. Buy it today.
Oh man, see? I have an audience soundboard now.
Man.
We're all in trouble.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
So do you think that he's going to have Star Wars on his next album? Since he's allowed to whistle Disney?
Maybe.
We might have to do like a fart sound album. Or a kazoo album. Or like he plays greatest hits of modern cinema on kazoo. So like the Indiana Jones.
On my nose flute.
On the Indiana Jones theme. Star Wars theme. Oh man, that'd actually be pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
I would listen to that.
Hey, so let's talk some Kill Team. We've not done that recently at all.
No, not even
So what is Kill Team, John?
Well, Kill Team is a brand new skirmish game that I've spent roughly 12 hours editing and talking about in the past week alone. Kill Team.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anybody that watches the video will only see me and Danny, and then occasionally you for no reason whatsoever.
Did you guys like my reply when someone responded with "Stay out of the shot"? And I'm like, it's fucking director's cameo. Do what I want.
I just saw you messing around with stuff in the background. It made me laugh. Like I was.
Well, what was super? So like, I wanted to start like the actual battle report video with like the shot of like Dave and Danny kind of sitting down talking about it, but I couldn't because I stopped too fucking early, and I'm still in the background dicking about with the lens and the camera angle for the table itself. So that is why Inside Baseball, the first 30 seconds of the battle report is a tabletop focus. So my stupid face is in the background too much.
It's true. You aren't good for camera.
But what are we working on for Kill Teams? Because I know we've done like battle reports with out of the box stuff, but out of this box stuff is dull. Everyone's on out of the box stuff. It's like 70 points of Gene Stealer is worth of 300 points of Death Guns.
All right, so I have watched a few battle reports at this point in time. Nobody but us made them look exactly the same and matched them up to the cards, as near as I can tell.
We tried, man. Like
I mean, it was near impossible because they used like 5 different Gene Stealer cult torsos 3 times in a row. And
when they sent us the review copy, they expected us to buy 2 more boxes of cultists.
That was part of the cost of the of the kit of sending us the kit.
It's a good thing.
That's how they recoup costs.
Yeah, it's a good thing I didn't, because man, I would have had a ton more heavy stubbers, because that thing does work. So, Danny, what would you make if you hadn't had to have made this Skitarii to start with?
So I would have made a Dark Eldar Kill Team. First of all, to spite all of the people that are complaining about Dark Eldar on the internet, and them only having 2 options in there.
Well, Dark Eldar and 40k now are super strong. So the very salty, complaining Dark Eldar community, who had
Just
5th
win
and
some games
6th
of
and
40K.
7th, were like, yeah, army's shit. And now 8th's around and it's not. They have to have something to complain about.
Right?
Here comes Kill Team.
Fair enough. So I'll be working. I have about I have like 10 witches that I have painted up in my new color scheme, which is the cult of the ossified blade.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have some models that I'm working on from the Cabal of the Splintered Skull. So I'll be working on some models for that for a Kill Team. I think that's going to be like I'll be mixing them together because they're kind of allied.
What's the actual breakdown for it? I mean,
for my list?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I think I have kind of it rough pointed out. I'm sorry, I don't have an exact list.
I mean, you don't need to put any points out.
I mean, nothing's really out till tomorrow.
Sure, yeah. Like I think it's 5 and 5. I have my leader as a Cabalite warrior, because he kind of is going to stay in the back and hang out and not poke his head out too much. And then I've got like a witch cult. Like 5 witch cult members that are going to like storm the other side of the table super fast and beat people up in close combat.
Nice.
That's my plan anyway. We'll see. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
This is like the Arrested Development narrator, where it's like it didn't.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a Cabalite warrior with a splinter cannon, Cabalite warrior with a blaster, and a Cabalite warrior with a shredder. And then I've got some witches, and I've got a couple of witch cult weapons. So
are those like multi-wound possible weapons, or just multi-shot weapons? Kind of like you can skip the shots around.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So the splinter cannon is rapid fire 3 with a 36-inch range, so it can fire.
Wow.
Yeah, so it fires 6 shots, and they're ballistic. They're all ballistic skill 3.
Of course they are. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Why wouldn't they be? So I've got that guy, and then I have I made him a demolition specialist. I believe
demo is against obscured. Get the +1
to wound because all splinter weapons are poison 4+. So +1 to wound means he always wounds on 3s, which is pretty cool.
That's
and then I can also pop the stratagem, so he wounds on 2s.
Didn't we have something we used to say with that? Wasn't it like that's some neat synergy?
The synergy,
really synergistic.
So much synergy. Anyway,
it seems like a very good list.
Yeah, I mean the witches are like garbage until they get there, right? They're only a 6+ save, so all my stuff is really fragile. So if you actually shoot them, they will die.
Well, you've seen me shooting before, so
True, and my guys died. I mean, to be fair.
that's true.
Spoilers.
So sorry.
It's all good.
It's been a week at this point.
yeah.
I think
Dave, what you working on?
All right, so I looked at. I really thought about Thousand Suns because the idea of Zangors and Space Marines just sound cool to me.
Yeah.
They got some nice synergy, but in the end, I kind of settled on just generic Black Legion Space Marines, just because the cultists. I like the ability to give the two of the cultists could take heavy stubbers,
Right.
which are a heavy 3 weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to give them anything, but they make really nice, just kind of backline troops because they're long range, and cultists only hit on a 4, but it's still multi dice. And if somebody manages to get in close to you, you've got a group there. I took a cultist champion as kind of just this little squad of 3 to kind of hold objectives on my backline
Sure.
and do whatever they need to do. Basically, they're my intercessors, if you will, only with better guns. And
They're terrible?
yeah. And then I've got six regular Space Marines. I've got 1 aspiring champion and 2 gunners, and 3 regular guys. And 2 of the regular guys have got just regular bolt guns, which are strength 4. So strength 4 weapons feel pretty solid in Kill Team, to me at least, because most things are not toughness 4 or toughness 5 if you're Nurgle. So I feel like you got a good chance. They're rapid fire, so you got a good chance to put out some good shots.
I think the regular bolter is great in Kill Team.
Yeah, it just seems really solid. So I didn't want to replace too many of those with different weapons. I took an Icon of Vengeance on one guy, and I kind of going to leave him with the cultists to give him that leadership.
What does the Icon of Vengeance do, Dave?
The Icon of Vengeance for regular non-aligned chaos is +1 leadership value.
Oh, cool! That's awesome.
So that felt really strong.
Is there a range on that, or just for the whole warband?
It's 6. I believe it's either 6 or 12 inches. I don't have the.
It's a really great way of protecting like your big guns and stuff, though.
Yeah, and keep them from failing nerve checks.
Yeah, from failing nerve checks and going and getting shaken, which basically.
Oh man, that's the worst. Don't get shaken, guys.
Yeah.
So
get shook.
So I've got my aspiring champion. I gave him a plasma pistol just so that he can just kind of nuke some stuff, and he's got a bolt gun. He's got leader, so obviously, everybody, you give your leader. You don't have to give your leader. By the way, I've noticed. It's not.
Why? Okay.
I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why you wouldn't. There could be a reason, but
same reason I make my Bastion my Warlord.
It's possible.
Because you can. Well, you can't anymore, but
you could.
You could
for a brief moment in time.
And so I've given the 2 gunners the plasma gun. One of them's got a plasma gun, and the other's got a heavy bolter. Because heavy bolters are strength 5, which higher strength, better off. I gave him the demo, so if you're scared, I get +1 to wound, which is awesome. And I gave the plasma gun the heavy actually, so that no negative to moving and firing. So the plasma gun guy can be on the move, no problem. So you don't suffer from the shoot, that's stupid. I should take heavy off that. I see you looking at me, and I know exactly why. Heavy makes perfect sense.
This is why Jon wins the army building challenge.
So I gave him not heavy and not demo. I haven't decided yet. I'll figure it out.
He could be a veteran.
Post.
Yeah,
probably veteran, something along those lines. And then I've got one guy that I gave Zealot to, and I took out the bolt gun and gave him a chainsword just so that, because every squad needs a lunatic that runs forward, slicing and dicing at people. So, and
man, Zealots are good at that.
Yeah,
right?
They really are. So yeah, that's what I'm working on, and I really like. I like the way this looks. I got a line on some heavy stubbers to convert up some guardsmen. So I just need to pick up a box of regular CSM.
Nice.
So, what about you, Jon? What are you thinking?
20 gaunts.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. There's something. Okay, so like Hormagaunts in Kill Team are like 4 points a model.
Right.
So like if I take 20, that's 80, and I get 2 bonus command points for shenanigans. But at the same time, I'm going to get shot to shit. So in realism, I'm looking at Tyranids. I got my Tyranids back out again. First time since like 7th. I'm looking at probably 10 Hormagaunts, a Lictor, and then a Tyranid Warrior with a Barb Strangler. The Tyranid Warrior lets me pretty much ignore breaks and leadership for the little guys. And I'm hoping kind of like a big blob of shit going up the left-hand side or wherever of the table is going to help ignore the Lictor moving up the right. Because in combat, he's still super deadly. He still has his 40k stat line.
I know.
So he's strength 6. He has he can shoot at strength 6.
He's weapon skill 2+.
He's weapon skill 2+. So, like I said, honestly, I have 10 Hormagaunts as a distraction for my Lictor going up table. The Lictor is -1 further to hit when he's in cover.
Oh, my God.
So for most people, he's going to be -2 to hit. And he moves really fast as well.
I'm going to blaster that guy. That's my plan.
I like the idea of your list and
20 guns.
It just any combination of those though. I mean, seriously, what it reminds me of is kind of like that scenario where you've got just the last squad of guardsmen holding out against the Tyranid. You know, like
my other list I'm working on is just Burners.
Oh, for orcs.
For orcs. Yeah,
just Burners.
Nice.
I want my kill teams to be describable in one word or less.
What's your kill team? Hormagaunts.
Yeah.
What's your kill? No, Burners.
Burners.
So can Hormagaunts in kill team take what is it? Flesh borers? That's what they used to have, right?
That's Termagants, sir.
Termagants? Oh,
racist.
And they yes they can, and Devourers.
Yes.
So can they take Stringlewebs and little?
Yeah, but they're
payload
super
things?
expensive.
Oh, that's too bad.
But like the little Termagants are little shooty guys, but honestly, the Hormagaunts are so fast. I think they're like basic movement 9.
That is fast.
It's 8, but yeah,
8.
That's
But still, yeah, it's still super
fast.
They have like 2 attacks each base.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they're getting across the table. They're doing stuff. And like I said, if I have a swarm of 10 of them, like almost moving up as a squad, that's a scary blob to deal with. And I'm all about distractions. So like they're not going to do much. Like even though I'm rolling a ton of dice in combat, the Lictor, that's what you got to watch for. That's kind of what I'm really excited about, is kind of getting a Lictor on the table. And reading through the rules, it's the NID list is like the most thematic to me. Like to me, that is a kill team.
Sure.
That is a Tyranid kill team that kind of infiltrates in. You have one little hive node controlling everything, which is your Tyranid warrior. And then you have like your Lictor and your baby Lictors and your Hormagaunts kind of coming in and stabbing things.
So, did you see the Gene Stealer kill team that's coming out in the next week?
You mean all Gene Stealers?
Yeah, it's all Gene Stealers.
Yeah.
So they're going to have like a specific box for Gene Stealers with extra cards.
Nice.
Yeah. So, okay, just so everybody knows, I don't know if we talked about this. The cards that come with the starter set, there are way more stratagems for each like faction in there, or like each kill team, than normally are listed in the entry. So
get yourself that box set.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that these new ones come with extra cards.
So I don't know for sure what cards are in there, because we actually have a bundle of cards that we haven't opened yet, because they are the command traits, the stratagem cards for the other factions. It's the only thing we haven't opened because we weren't using them.
Sure, that makes sense.
So it's possible they're all in there already. So that this is just another way to,
But I got like 12 cards for my Skitari.
Yeah, I did too.
So yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, no, the Gene Stealer box, I'm loving the stuff that they're coming out with already. I really kind of want to get my hands on the new the Minotaurum set with all the crates.
I want those statues.
The new Killzone. Oh
yeah,
no,
the Killzone.
The Killzone with the Shadow Wars Armageddon terrain and kind of like the desert covered paneling on the ground.
No, there's like a new one that's coming out.
Oh no, that's the one with the crane and the containers, right? Yeah.
So they previewed some of the rules for it, and one of them is you roll to see what the the rules are for the board, which is something we didn't do in our game, but because
not yet.
We're
still not quite there. Yeah.
But like one of the things was anybody that's close to a crate. You roll for a crate every turn, you roll for the crate. One of the objectives, or not objectives, but just one of the generic things is that if you're close to if you roll this on this is what's up with the board.
When you're close to the edge, like the crates can fall on you.
Yeah, you can take D3 mortal wounds.
Dumb and amazing.
The crane. If you have the crane on the board and you're within 1 inch and you're going first and somebody else is within 1 inch, you can hit them with the crane.
Yeah, you can
like
attack
in RoboCop.
Strength 8 attack. Yeah, just smack them with it. There's
the
so
original,
many,
not the terrible remake.
So many.
We know. I want to see your Lictor use it.
Oh,
He flash hooks the controls.
But yeah, no, they're doing some awesome stuff. I mean, my first thought was the army list, the Luda that they're putting out with the Reavers and the Ludas were just kind of, is it really worth it? But then I started doing the math on how much stuff is in each one of those box sets.
They are so worth it.
It's like, nope, I was wrong. They're completely worth it.
They're really like start collecting terrain sets.
It's
right?
It's a 50-50. and the box set comes with little special rules for stuff, like the crates in the Gene Stealer. You get a special card in the Gene Stealer box that says if you're within an inch of a crate and shooting, you get to add +1 to your shooting attacks. You get an extra shot because of the ammunition. I was like, what?
Yeah, so I'm thinking with my splinter cannon.
So with 20 gaunts, I don't care about that. Which one gives me an extra claw to stab with?
I get to shoot 8 times with my splinter cannon within 18 inches. I like that.
Disgusting. So gross. So gross. Yeah, no, I look forward to doing more Kill Team stuff. Not necessarily against Danny, because I'm not tired of playing Kill Team.
It's going to be a while. You're going to be playing against Danny for a while. At least the next 2 weeks until people catch up with the rules.
You got Gaunts ready. I can't wait to face your Lichter Gaunt team. Let's do it. That's okay. I will help you. And if you think the rules are wrong, you can feel free to call a TO over named Danny to ask if I'm cheating or not.
And he'll say yes.
And the answer will be yes. I'll be cheating.
Almost unanimous.
But I did it politely, and really that's the important
thing. And I felt good about
That's not the way we play it where I'm from. Can I see your rulebook?
No, you can't. Because this was a preview copy, and I have the only copy of the rulebook, so there.
Of course.
Can't show
Of course, yeah, you've got to.
So.
Oh, man. Okay, so let's moving on real quick. Let us know your Kill Teams. Kill Team releases tomorrow or 10 years in the past or whenever it is you're listening to this. It releases on the 28th of this month, or of July. Let us know what Kill Teams you're running. I've seen some great stuff on Twitter from people just randomly building models.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
That looks super awesome. I've seen some questionable special homebrew rules. But mostly some really great Kill Teams. Let us know what Kill Teams you're running, what you want to see, what you think is going to be good, what you think is going to be awful. And if you think it's going to be awful, we'll make Danny run it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will definitely do that.
I will happily take on your awful list with a good list. So...
Hey, let's move on real quick. I know we're a little short this week, but that's fine.
They got 30 minutes less Saturday. They're fine.
I know. And they got 30 extra ones last week. Let's do some plugs. I want to plug the people that I just got bases from. Or
who was that
from.
exactly?
Tectonic Graph Studios.
Tectonic Graph Studios. They were really well priced, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I bought like 10 different movement trays, and it was like $40. Shipped. So like that was
nice.
5 squads, and like I said, that makes my deployment time go from, because I like to space my Dire Avengers out exactly.
Sure.
And this means that I can do it without making my opponent rip out their hair as I really slowly place squads down. So Tectonic Studios, they do other stuff too, and they have several different designs of movement tray to pick from, but all of it top quality, and the work that comes really good. Super solid MGF.
I bought from them as well when I was running Tyranids last year, like literally 1 year ago almost exactly. And I ordered 32 movement trays or something like that because I was running like a 200 model Tyranid army, and like I really needed to be able to move my models across the table in an hour and 15 minutes. My allotted time of a tournament game, right? And man, the guy, he put a rush order in. He delivered like right when he's like right in time. Like it was really great. So super great product. Again, Jon, like you're right on the money. These guys are great.
Dave, who do you want to plug?
Oh, man, I want to plug Wargaming Wife Creations today. That's awesome. It's a store dedicated to filling your gaming space with nicely themed glassware. She's got some chapter stuff. She's got some chaos stuff. I managed to pick up a Plague Marine-based Nurgle King glass for Danny because he plays that.
Thanks, man.
It's a brandy size, so you can feel hoity-toity while you're kicking the shit out of people. And
please hold your brandy glass, like swirling it like an asshole. You're like, can I see your rule book, please?
That's not the way we play that.
That's not the way we play that where I come from. Up the hill.
Up the hill.
Jeeves, check his rule book for me.
I don't touch non-collector's editions. Oh man, we got to make brandy glasses a wargaming thing now.
Oh yeah. Man, actually, that sounds like a super good time. Drinking brandy, playing war games sounds.
Or like a really good skit if you have like a rich wargamer. Geez, roll my dice. I have 20 attacks.
You need those sticks though to push your models.
Oh,
with.
the croupier.
Yeah, those are my favorite. Man. Right.
All right,
I killed this unit, and he smashes it with the croupier. Jeeves, compensate this man for his miniatures.
Jasmine, I'm sorry you got stuck in the middle of this.
I'm sorry.
How much is a dice? $1? $20? Who knows?
one dice, please. Wargaming Wife Creations.
Oh man, it's run by Jasmine Suttrell.
Does she have a store that I can buy her wonderful stuff at?
Does. You can find her if you look up capital W's Wargaming Wife on Etsy. You can find her there, or you can follow her on Twitter at the same handle at Wargaming Wife.
I'm gonna try and follow her.
You should.
I mean, not like physically, but on Twitter.
Yeah. It's much easier on Twitter. Danny, what you got?
So I wanted to plug Custom Meeple, which creates a bunch of really nice. They do a bunch of different types of terrain. They do some like plastic. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's not
Croupier.
No, not Croupier. Man, I really need a Croupier.
I do too now.
I'm going to write that in.
Okay,
as a
so we need to film
make.
a battle report of us playing games using nothing but croupiers.
And
trying to do like legal movements.
Whilst drinking brandy. You have to have your brandy in your hand, right? And then move the models. There's no like double hand moving stuff. Like you only have one hand.
No, I'm gonna put on a flannel and a trucker hat, and I'm gonna be drinking Natty Ice the whole time. I'm gonna be like, hey,
your
come
croupier
on.
made out of used beer
All right,
cans.
Danny's
so
gonna
here's
be
the deal.
smoking,
No. Wait.
I'll be the
Class
redneck.
war?
Class war!
Yes, I will be the redneck.
Dave, to offset your natural advantage in drinking, you're going to have to hold in one hand a cup for your chew spit.
Oh,
okay.
No, it would have to be a bottle.
Sure, that's fine. Whatever your container of choice is.
You know, like Johnny 40 hands? Like where you duct tape 40 to each
That's what
hand.
I'm saying.
So we duct tape empty cups to each hand. And that's how you roll dice and move miniatures.
And
you
drink.
Have to, drink.
So you have to finish your drink
man.
before you can roll your dice.
Okay, but for reals, I really want to film a croupier game.
Yeah, dude, for real.
500 points of us trying to push shit across a table and failing miserably. We're
If
doing
you guys
it.
know where we can get a croupier and a couple smoking jackets and maybe a fez or two, that would be awesome. That'd be
Man,
awesome.
Justin has a fizz.
And Justin has a fez, yeah.
We also will need a butler though. We're gonna need a butler. Somebody's gonna have to be in a tux. Like
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure I can.
I have
I'm
a
sure
suit. I'll hold up a tray with dice. It's good. Maybe some templates for the more refined gentlemen, for the more vintage games.
What is this?
Wow.
What is this plastic tear-shaped thing?
I'm really
for?
glad this is where the end of the episode is.
Oh
going
yeah,
to. This
we're just
is,
going insane at this point here.
yeah.
But you said your meeples, they have high quality.
Yeah,
terrain.
Yeah,
They
they
have good
do,
stuff.
and they have really good tokens, and they also sell Games Workshop miniatures on their website, which is something that you can do now.
Yeah, tokens really important in current 40K.
Man, they do AOS tokens.
Oh, nice.
Not official, of course. They're like called something different.
Are they potentially going to do any Kill Team ones?
I don't know. Maybe I could see that being a big deal. They're one of the biggest token producers, so I can totally see that happening. They do a lot of Infinity and Malifaux tokens as well.
Well, those aren't real games, so
Sure.
yeah.
Nice. One last shout out I want to do. One of our fellow podcasts, NGC40K, recently celebrated 3 years of podcasting.
I wondered why you're wearing their shirt today.
And like I said, Peter over there does a really good product, very fluff concentrated, does some amazing writing and producing of kind of audio segments on there too. He's part of the Narrative Network with a couple of other podcasts, but his is the one you really need to listen to.
Frozen Heresy. Is
Frozen
awesome.
Heresy. I have my NGC 40K shirt on right now. Very nice soft cotton blend that Ted picked up for me in Adepticon. So, yeah, listen to their stuff. As I said, it's very, very good. And like I said, Peter has very good mind and hand for kind of writing 40K fiction down. And he usually has some really good audio dramas he does himself during his episodes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I've got.
All right.
All right, so for episode 82 of Mob Rules, we're going to call this the last you'll hear of us for like a week.
Yeah.
I've been John.
I've been Dave.
And I've been Danny.
And we'll see you, I guess, next week?
Soonish.
Yeah.